Good afternoon and welcome to this week's issue of Print21, the weekly TV news bulletin from print21.com.au, sponsored by Ricoh, which is in the process of updating its showrooms around the country. My name is Wayne Robinson. This week we're outside Coles. Coles supermarket, the nationwide giant grocery store, has decided to dump its printed catalogues. It's a blow to Print and a blow to IVE in particular, the Diversified Marketing Communications Group that was printing the catalogues. Those catalogues were 10 billion pages a year, 10,000 tonnes of paper a year, 7 million catalogues of a week were being printed by IVE at its sites in Sydney and Melbourne. From September the 9th they will be no more. The CEO of Coles was citing changing consumer demand, wanting digital catalogues, and the environment, which as we all know is a spurious reason. IVE CEO Matt Aitken told me it was disappointing. Executive Chairman Jeff Selig said that the company was well placed to mitigate against any losses and it had plans in place since the beginning of the COVID crisis. Also being cut in print this week is the newspaper world. The three big newspaper publishers of the country, ACM, Australian Consolidated Media, Australian Community Media, News Corp and Fairfax have come to a historic print sharing deal, saying they're no longer competing on print, they're competing just on journalism. In effect, it means that News Corp will have a stranglehold on much of the country's newspaper printing. ACM will keep some sites, particularly the North Richmond site. Nine, which was formerly Fairfax, will have pretty much zero in the way of printing. The ACM sites in Canberra, Adelaide will be closed, Ballarat will also be closed, and the fate of Wodonga is in the balance. So it's all changed there in the newspaper world. Good news though, in print, there is expansion, there is movement, typified by Vicon Transfers, the innovative heat transfer printer for garments. Vicon is doubling the size of its factory. It's moving from Sydney to Brisbane. Owner Ben Carroll is spending $600,000 on new equipment. It tells me he'll effectively treble his capacity with 3 lines in there running now. So great news for him and for the garment printing industry, for the trade, because he supplies to the trade. The ultra colour complex transfers that are very difficult for most people to do. It's a great story, the Vicom story. Velflex, which is the supplies company, that will remain in Albury Wodonga. Also new this week, a new chapter in the history of the Women in Print movement. Women in Print for the women in the printing industry began 15 years ago. It's just in a new era now. Susan Heaney, there's a new board. Susan Heaney of Heaney's Performance in Print is in the board. It's been backed by Real Media Collective. Susan Heaney says that she's been a champion of the movement for a while and is thrilled that it's now back on its feet with a new direction and a whole load of a new website, new focus, new programs. Of course, the initial meetings are all being held on Zoom, but it's great to see it back in action. That's it from me, Wayne Robinson, this week. Thanks to our sponsor Ricoh. Outside Coles, the news that it will no longer be printing catalogues. It will, but just a few. Certainly not the 7 million a week it's been doing. Go to print21.com.au for all this news in detail and much more. Thanks to our sponsor Ricoh. That's it for this week.